Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Best Today podcast. Today we are talking about community, the importance of community, what community means to you, and why community is such an important and integral part of what we do here at Best Today and who we are at Best Today. So if you did not know, community is actually one of our core, not only values, but offerings at Best Today. It is one of the ways that we empower women to transform how you plan and live out your days. It's another way in how we help to center your humanity and who you are in your planning, your day-to-day planning, and in your world. So the Best Today community is our digital community on a secure platform available on both Apple and Android phones. It provides community. It provides a safe space. It provides encouragement, private workshops, exclusive material that I only share and teach in the community, a curriculum that I've created called the Best Day Curriculum that really helps you step by step get clear on who you are and what you want. Really, again, making you the center, your humanity, the fact that you are more than one thing. You are not your titles. You are not your roles that you play. And so really, it's the place that the environment that breathes everything that we teach and stand for here at Best Today. And so if you are not a bestie, as we call ourselves, or they call them, they kind of create that name. If you're not a bestie, which we call the members of the Best Day community, we want to invite you, I want to invite you right now to go to bestdaycommunity.com to learn more and to sign up. You have two options. You can join month to month, or you can choose to save and join as an annual member. I will tell you, a lot of people sign up month to month in the beginning, and after like 2 to 3 months, we see people then transfer over to a year because they really want to be plugged in into this community. And better yet, I have for you in this episode a conversation that we recorded with a few members of the community. Every week we get together or almost every week, I'll say that. Some weeks we have something else, but almost every week we get together for a co-working hour. It's just 1 hour where we come together and people just literally work. Sometimes it is completely silent. Everyone is doing their own thing, but there is something about having the presence of one another. It's a great place if you do have a question along the way. A lot of times what people will do is they'll bring that thing that they've been putting off, procrastinating on, and saying, here's what I'm dedicating it for a co-working hour. This is now my dedicated space and time to do that thing, or to do the fun thing that I always put off. They bring that to co-working hours. So I see people in their actual offices and their job. I see people at home working. I see people who are sewing and doing crafts and fun things, or people who are working on a specific project they put off for that they put and set aside for that hour. But it's just one of the many ways that we come together. And so we use one of our co-working hours for the women who were there to just have a conversation about community, what it means to us, and how they have been able to find community in a digital space, because we are all separated by distance, right? There are women in the community who live in other countries. There are women in the community who live in other states. And yet we all can come together virtually and in this digital space that has been created and curated for the Best Today community. And just how these women show up for one another, how they encourage one another, how they listen, how it is truly a safe space that people can share things that are hard, share things that are happy, share things that they're working through, and one, get the encouragement, two, hear from other people who are walking alongside them and say, I'm in the same boat, or I just finished this, or I'm right behind you in this. And it's just a wonderful space. It is not just my voice. And that, I think Toby's going to mention that when you hear the conversation that we had, that this is not a Shantae's place to teach. I am a student of life, just like every single customer that I have, just like every single bestie in the community. I am a student of life. And so there is no one teacher there. We are all teachers and we're all students, because we all have something to say and to share that can help another human. And so if you are not in the Best Today community, I just can't tell you enough how worth the investment it is in yourself and in your time and in your life. Again, what I love about it so much is you can come join us for a month. And if you determine that it doesn't do what you need, then you can leave. But make sure you come in and invest and get to know and participate and engage, right? Also, I'll note that your first month in the community is free with every order of your best, with your order of your Best Today guide, you get your first month free. So let's say you've already ordered a Best Today guide, but you didn't join the membership. The next time you order a Best Today guide, you can join the membership for your first month free. It's just your first month. Is free. You get your first month free with the online programs bundle and the starting bundle, because those are places we want you to have that first month to come in and get the help you might need after getting those resources in your hands. Let's talk, before we get to the actually listening to everyone and our conversation about community, I want to tell you a little bit about why I created the Best Today community. And it's not a Facebook group, right? It is not a Facebook group. I want to say that 5 million times. Okay. It is a community that is safe and secure and solo and protected. And I created that because I really wanted to surround our customer with everything that she needs to thrive while learning and applying Best Today principles, while in this lifelong process of living a life of intention, of prioritizing your mental, emotional, physical health, and really centering your humanity in the way that you plan and live out your days. You know, what we teach and what we create is countercultural, is transformative. And I did not want a single person to feel as though she is walking through this alone. And I know how important that is. I didn't want to create a company that just gives you these physical products and then say, good luck. I want to walk alongside you. And this podcast is yet another way that I walk alongside you every single week. You have the brand new episode, as well as all of the episodes before, to be right there in your ear on a topic that matters to you. That might be encouragement, that might be guidance, whatever it is you need. I want to surround you with that. And then I also wanted to give you the actual presence of like-minded women, like other women who are on this journey just like you are, other women who are right there alongside you, myself included. And I know the power of community and the power of the environment you're in. A seed has all the potential in the world to be a tree, but if you do not place it in the right environment and give it the nourishment that it needs, you're not going to get the tree. You're going to get a seed planted somewhere, dropped somewhere. And so this community is the environment that allows the good in you and your life to grow. And that's why I created it. I knew that we needed more than just to give you something and say, good luck with using this. Here's some videos about it. That is not enough when you're trying to do the work that we are, when you're trying to do work that actually transforms not only one woman, but my hope is eventually the world and the way women are viewed and how we view ourselves and our time. I am trying to change, like really bring real change. And you cannot do that without community. Okay. So that's why I created the Best Today community. And I read an article, and I think it was real simple. I'll find the article and it will be linked in today's show notes at besttodayguide.com/60. But it really echoed this importance of community. It said that it talks about online community as well. And what I love that it said is that, you know, online community can be just as meaningful, and many times for most people is more meaningful than even having that people in your physical presence. When the online community, you connect on an underlying values. It said that socializing is a key lifestyle habit that promotes health and longevity, and that research shows that social connectedness is as good for your physical health as exercising or quitting smoking. Like, that blew my mind. Research shows that social connectedness is as good for your physical health as exercising or to quit smoking. So community is just so important. And for us, community is having the underlying value. What I love is within the community, you have women at all ages, stages of life, locations, just so many different things, backgrounds, life status, like where we are in life. But the thing that unites us is our desire, our true, deeply felt desire and belief that it's possible to live a life of health, humanity, and intention. And because we are all so committed to that, and maybe at varying levels, maybe some people come and they're like, this sounds really good. I really want it, but I don't know, right? We come in varying levels, but when we get together, It is that ripe environment that is made to help you thrive and grow. It is a necessary component. So if you found that maybe you're using Best Today products, but you're not seeing the fruit, get in the community. Plug yourself into that environment and don't just sit there, right? You have to engage, ask the question, introduce yourself, and you'll see what can happen for you in your life. Like I mentioned, inside the community, we have our Focus First call, which is the first Thursday of every month. And that's when we come together. We talk about, hey, here are the things that worked for me last month. Here's what I'm focusing on this upcoming month. We've been going through the Best Today curriculum one lesson at a time. Collectively, these calls are all recorded and put in the community. So you can come and look at old community call Focus First calls. We have a weekly co-working hour. We have live workshops where you get to say, I'd love it if Shantae, if you did a workshop on this. 99% of the workshops that I teach come from something that someone mentioned, talked about, or asked for in the community, right? The community is just filled with women who not only desire to add to the conversation, they ask questions, they participate, and really they enjoy the benefit of togetherness. And what I also love is that the community offers you an opportunity to know that you are not alone 365 days of the year, 24/7. You can log on, you can jump on your phone. I don't know why people say jump. You can open your phone, tap your phone, and, within seconds, be right there in the community on an app, or you can go online and join us 24/7, asking your questions. Community members post questions, share their wins, their frustrations, where they are right now. And they're always met with encouragement, answers, solutions, conversation, or just, I'm here for you. I see you. I don't have anything to add to this conversation, but I want you to know that you're seen and loved. And the camaraderie for me is really, really beautiful to watch. There was another article that I read, and I'm going to link to this one in the show notes as well at besttodayguide.com/60, that said that strong communities are critical because they're often an important source of social connection and a sense of belonging. Participating in a community bonded by attitudes, values, and goals is an essential ingredient to enjoying a fulfilling life. I hope that you understand how important community is, not only like the Best Today community and digital community, but I hope you're also thinking about the community that you're building in your physical present life. Are you surrounded with an environment and people who are pouring into you, who are there to see your good and who want good things for you in your life, and who see you and your humanity and all that you are, and the valuable human that you are, the worthy human that you are? And if not, how will you work to prune to ensure that that is what's pouring into you and not something contrary? Okay. So those are the things I want you to start thinking about. Now I'm so excited to share with you this conversation that we recorded in the Best Today community, just chatting together about community, what it means to us, and how their experiences have been in the Best Today community. So I will turn it over and let you eavesdrop on a conversation we had over in the Best Today community. Well, hello, everybody. I would love it if you would introduce yourself, say hello to the people, let them know who you are and whatever else you'd like to share. We'll start with Candace.
I'm Candace. Let's see. I'm a mom, a cabinet designer, mainly. Mom, although my kids are 20s in their 20s, but I guess she's never stopped being a mom. And I love our community. It's so much fun to get feedback from other people and other people's perspectives.
Thanks, Candace.
Hi, I'm Rose. I am here in Chicago. I am also a mom of a toddler, and I joined the community last fall sometime after the planning workshop, and have really been hooked ever since.
Hey everyone, I am Stacey. Yeah, I live in Scotland with an Australian accent, and I'm a teacher. Yeah, I'm just enjoying life. I feel I've been through a season of grief, and I've just felt like the community's really been there for me. And at the moment, I see myself as a joyful person.
Hi, I'm Toby. I'm 27 years old, so on the younger end of the spectrum. I live in Detroit. I'm a mother of 3 little girls, and I'm a nurse. I really love this community because it gives me a sense of like a foundation for touch point. So I always know that if I ever need anything or need to discuss something in my, working through the things that are important to me, I can always come back to this community. It's like a constant for me.
I love that so much. Erin, are you here?
Hi, yes, I'm here. I'm sorry I can't come on camera, but I'm Erin. I live in Durham, North Carolina, and I've been a lurker, an inactive lurker lately, and I took a few days off from work, so I was like, it's really time for me to jump in and try to get things for myself and my family together and on track again.
I love that. Thank you, Erin. And I think that's helpful for people to know. I think involvement in the community is what you need. And what I've found is different people have different stages. There are different stages where some people are really active. They come in, they have a lot of questions, they get what they need, and then they kind of go and execute. And then they may come back to say, okay, I was doing those things we talked about, remember last month or a few weeks ago, here's what happened, and report back. And then they go back again. And then there's some people who may be more constant in there. It's like a constant conversation. There's no right or wrong. It's like taking what you need in that moment, in that season, particularly if you're in the middle of something, you just have a lot of questions, you have that space. So there is no right or wrong. We just want you to always know that we're there. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Is what I really want to hear from you all is, one, what do you think, how do you define community? What does community mean to you, and why is it important? And how are some of the ways that you've been able to seek it here in our digital community? And anyone who wants can just unmute themselves and share, what does community mean to you? The thing I know is it must mean something because you all are here. And why is it important?
I'll jump in. For me, a community is a group of people with a shared experience or a shared goal. And for me, that's the highlight of this community. I feel that we're all like extremely focused on bettering ourselves to create the life that we want. And we're all at our own paces, but with that momentum. And for me, I think that's unparalleled. I haven't found that in any other community where we have a group of women who are all equally as interested in bettering their lives. So for me, that's what this community means to me.
Yeah, I'd basically say the same thing as Toby. I think for me, community is a group of people, in this case, women, just coming together and supporting each other on the journey of life, through all of our ups and our downs and through everything that we're going through. And it's knowing that you're surrounding yourself with people who are pushing you to be the best version of yourself, and allowing you to just grow into what you want to, who you want to become. And I found the community really helpful for that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that unites a community is whatever a shared interest, whether it's like left-handed puppeters or whatever, like people who just like, you have something that unites us. And I think what unites us in the community is so powerful because it brings people from different ages and stages of life. Like we have people in their younger 20s. We have women who are in their 60s and beyond. We have single parents, empty nesters, married, widowed, like all stages and ages of life, but we're united in our desire to live a life of intention and to rally around the core principles of Best Today. I think that's the thing that I love so much, is it's not one homogenous group with just one outlook on life. But we're also united. And that's why so many people can come in and find what they're looking for. And I love when I see people connect and they find someone who may think the way they do or have similar experiences. You're going to find someone, all of us have those shared values and desires, but then you're also going to find those more specific people who may be walking through something really similar to what you're walking through. And I think both of those things are important. And I realized we forgot to introduce a very important person in our community. Kenya, can you come on and introduce yourself? Kenya makes sure the community stays afloat and active and informed. So Kenya, please introduce yourself as well.
Hi, I'm Kenya. Like Shantae said, I just kind of communicate with y'all, and I enjoy doing that. I enjoy meeting so many different people with so many different backgrounds and in so many different areas and phases of life, and just the amount of encouragement, transparency that you all provide and ask for. You ask for help when you need it. That's encouraging to me personally, and I hope that it's encouraging to you all as well. So yeah, I've enjoyed watching the community grow, and just enjoyed building relationships with each one of you.
Yeah, and I was going to say, when you mentioned the transparency, I love seeing that as well. It really is a safe space. Also, the fact that people feel safe to come in and share, maybe sometimes things they're not even willing to want to have a conversation with people in their like day-to-day lives about, like, this is something I'm walking through, or this is something I'm feeling, or this is something that I think may be going on in my life, and finding connection with other people who may have walked it, or even sometimes it's like none of us have exactly experienced that, but we can come in and let you know we are here for you. We're supportive. And I love when people even say, oh, have you listened to this episode of the podcast? Shantae talked about that over here, and pulling resources for each other, which takes time. You have to hear someone ask something, think about that, and then try to go and find the thing that exists to help that person. And we see that so often. And that when I see that happening, I'm just so elated, because that comes from a place of real care, concern, and love for one another, where most of us have not met, and we're at all different spectrums of the globe. So it's really lovely to see that as well. I want to ask you all, how have you been able to find community in a space that is digital, right? We're not physically together right now. I can't wait for the day that many of us can gather together and have our first Best Today event. And whenever we have a Best Today event, please know there's going to be an exclusive community event somewhere in there as well. But how is it that you've been able to find community in a place where you don't get to see these people? We don't connect physically. We see each other a lot because we do our weekly co-working and our Focus First calls, and we see each other in our little icons in the community. But how have you been able to find community in a place that's not physically together?
I'll go. I think, well, first off, you nailed, you were saying that about the weekly co-working hours and such. I think that's a huge part of it, is that there's plenty to engage with, like plenty of material to engage with. You and Kenya do a fantastic job of prompting us, I guess, of giving us things to think about. And then that kind of opens up other people to bring up their own questions and their own thoughts about something. And I think one, I feel like this is one of the only communities that's been very active. It's a very active community. It's not something you join and just kind of everybody is lurking and just waiting for somebody to talk. There's always somebody who's being open and about, or prompting us to reflect and talk and engage. And I think the other thing, there's plenty of events too, like, the Focus First calls, those are really good. And then, like you said, like these co-working hours and such. So I think that's one issue, or one reason. And then the other, I think, is just, I feel like the community is what you make of it. And so, like, thankfully, a lot of us realize that. And so the more open we are, the more you can actually gain from the community, I believe. Just being, like I said, being open to that engagement.
At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today. This week, we've got 2 messages from inside the Best Today community. It felt fitting to share on this week's episode. The first message came from Sarah, and I love the honesty of it. And I think you might be able to relate. But Sarah writes, "It's funny. I started this with the first month trial, fully expecting to go, okay, it's nice, but I don't have time, and canceling. Full honesty. But I am truly, absolutely enjoying my look in here and taking advantage of the conversations and the curriculum. It's a tab I keep open on my personal computer, and the level of cheering and support really is incredible. It's much more personal than I expected, thanks to you, Shantae, and the community. I'm already seeing differences in how I approach my days and my goals, and it has been eye-opening for me. Even when I thought I kind of had it all figured out, I was really trudging along without really taking time to think about what I want and pursue ways to get there. It's really exciting. exclamation point. So this is a long way of saying I'm definitely enjoying my time in the Best Today community. Sarah, thank you so much for your honesty. Thank you so much for just coming in and at least giving it a chance and really realizing what it could be and what it actually was in your life. I love that message so much. I tell you, the smile is like ear to ear over here. You can't see it. Maybe you can hear it through the phone. And our second message came from LaShonda, who wrote, I love that the Best Today community is a safe, brave space for diverse women to grow. I can grow at my own pace. The fellowship and be blessed with women, continuous resources, trainings, and accountability. It is amazing that we have direct communication with our fearless teacher, leader, and sister, Shantae. This is very unique because it is not common to have direct access to the owner, instructor. Thank you. Thank you, LaShonda, for sharing your experience in the Best Today community. And I'm so grateful that is a safe space for you to really grow and have fellowship with other women. And it is my joy to be an active participant in that community. I'm telling you, we talk about it every single week in our team meetings, but we just love this space and are excited to continue to see it grow and thrive. And so if you want to learn more, if you want to join, you've learned a lot in this episode about the Best Today community. Go to besttodaycommunity.com and join us right now. Remember, your first month is free with your order of the Best Today Guide, the Best Today Starter Bundle, and the Best Today Online Program Bundle. So if those were already on your mind to get, order those and get your first month free. Otherwise, come join us today at besttodaycommunity.com. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love seeing you all. And I think what happens, I always say this on our Focus First calls, like, if you want to say something and you're not, please do, because there are 15 other people who feel exactly, that's like 15 posts that we have not seen because everyone's like, well, no one else is going to post. So if everyone who actually has something they want to ask actually does, like, it will open up so much. And probably like half of those things will be the same because a lot of us are walking through or experiencing or have a similar question. And sometimes we even have answers already there in the community. So I am always encouraging people, like, just put it out there. There's no question that's too small, no question that's, I don't know if I should we've yet to have someone ask a question and we're like, that doesn't belong here, like, not once. So I think that's really important. And those of you who keep active, I think you encourage other people to continue to show up as well. So there's a wealth of knowledge there. Also the curriculum, that's another piece of the community. I wanted to have a space to really give people a place to think through these really important questions and work through them. And that's what the Best Today curriculum helps us to do. And we've been walking through those in our Focus First, which I really, really like that. I love hearing everyone thinking out loud. And it also helps to make sure we're all aware of the curriculum and walking through it together and getting the benefit of it as well. I think that's one of my favorite parts, is definitely our Focus First calls, which is the first call every first Thursday of the month, to kind of gather together. We usually have questions that we'll answer that may have been posted or conversational topics, but now that we're going through the curriculum, that's been a really favorite thing about it. Those have been some of my favorite conversations, and the way people are listening to other people's, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Like, learning from listening to other people even have that thought process out loud in the calls. Candace, how has the community been for you?
For me, it's been a lot of things. For me, being a business owner, it's great getting feedback from you and great getting feedback from, like, Cynthia, the other business owner that is in our community. I know there's more, but those are the two off the top of my head. Just feedback from that, because, it's a lot of, working from home, while fun in some cases, other cases, not so much. You can only have so many conversations with 2 cats, I promise. So it's a lot of that and good things. And, like, I remember someone in the community posted about, I think it was ADD or ADHD, which, being an adult, questioning whether or not that's a thing or if that's a related thing. It just was a great conversation that we all had around that. But there was no, like you said, there was no stigma behind it. It's like, hey, so I think I might have this. What do you guys do as a resource to, like, combat it or go against it, because it is a thing and it's a pain in the butt and you just have to learn how to deal with it. Sometimes drugs, sometimes not drugs, but it was great to have the conversation without there being any sort of stimulus to it. I think I used the right word, against that, to say, hey, it's cool. Let's go. Let's figure this out for us as a community. And anybody else who needed to chime in on it was able to chime in on it and just say, hey, so this is how I deal with it. Or, hey, look at this resource and see how it was and see if it was helpful. So it was a great conversation to have. And like you said, there's not been anything that's been brought up that's like anybody feels like, oh, we shouldn't talk about that. Like, it's been a very open space to be like, hey, here's where I'm at. And everybody either comes alongside or brings their resources. Like, they've either been there, done that, or, hey, I heard a podcast or a whatever, or a friend of a friend went through it. So, it's a wealth of information that you didn't know you needed until it was there.
Yeah. And I've often been asked, so is this like a Facebook group? And I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Because a lot of times when I say community, like, oh, okay, this is like a Facebook group. And we intentionally wanted to create something that was not that. One, we want it to be on our own platform because it's really easy to log in and think you're just going to go to like a community or a group, and then you get pulled into all these things that just don't matter. Two, we wanted like it to be a literal closed, safe space that we can watch and guard as well. And that the only thing you're going to see in there are the things that align with Best Today principles. Nothing else is going to sneak through, because we want that to be a place when people come, they don't have to deal with like, okay, I've got to make sure I don't look at this, or this over here triggers me. It's a real, like a literal safe space. So what would you say to people who are like, well, I'm in so many free Facebook groups that have women that I don't really need this. I feel like I already have something that does that. What would you say to that person? Anyone?
I'll jump in. I was going to say, while I was listening to Candace talking, that I feel like what separates this community from other digital communities is that a few things. One is that it's off Facebook. Facebook is just literal noise. It's just noise. And it's so hard to separate the noise from the quality, the quality noise, right? The quality sound. And not having this on Facebook, it already makes the work that we do here more meaningful. And I feel like the work that we do in this community is so meaningful to who I am as a person. It's something that I desire to be on away from Facebook. I can hold both my values at the same time. Facebook, I feel like, detracts from my energy. This supports my energy. And when you have them in the same place, there's a saying in Jewish culture, like going through a spiritual bath holding a bug. It like doesn't really work out, right? That's kind of what the communities on Facebook are for me. So this is super unique, super focused, and super meaningful. I said super so many times. And the other thing is I love that I can use the physical products and the community. So when the community is not front and center, I have the products with me and I can think in my mind, I'm going to check in with the community, see what they think, or check in and just update my progress or bounce some ideas off. So many times the communities that we have on Facebook, first of all, they're free, so much less investment, right? But also there's not a lot of physical matter, making them more present or meaningful. The Best Today guide, the weekly planning pad for me is like game changer. I even have like my pens right here. So they're constant physical reminders to stay engaged and touched, tapped into this community that for me is kind of a representative of what I'm doing with my life. That's how it's different for me than a Facebook group.
Anyone
else? I would also tack on to that because all of this usually is on my phone, and you are on the front page. It literally says, the Mighty Network is on the front page. So it's literally the little button. It's one of the only things that has notifications on it, by the way. So it's the little button that says, hey, look, somebody's talking, so I can go and interact. It's literally one button. I wait 3 seconds and it's there. Versus Facebook, it's kind of like, okay, wait, how do I know? And like, okay, if I put the bubble on at that, there's like 15, 20, 30, 50, who knows how many bubbles. Okay, how many of those are significant to me at that moment in time? Probably 2. So now I got to go dig through 25 notifications to find the 2 that I actually give a rat's hootie about, and then go interact. Whereas here it's just like, one of the other things that I really appreciate is that our introduction Friday, like, we added that, like we had a discussion with you, like, hey, so we've got all these new people, but we don't know that they're here because, we're all busy doing our lives. So now Kenya does this wonderful thing where she's like, yo, guys, this is a new member of our group. And we all get in and go, hey, it's great to meet you, and things like that. Whereas it's like other groups, I have one group where it's like, it lists like all the people that came. Okay, great. Awesome. Moving on. Whereas here it's just like, we get to call out and just like raise up the new person that's in our community because they're special. It's not just like 50 people came, we get like 3 or 4, which, I think is awesome because those are the 3 or 4 people that really want to be here. It's not just someone that just clicked, yeah, I want to be part of this group. Great. Moving on. And you wait for it to kind of feed into Facebook, maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stacey.
I was just going to say the same sort of thing. I think like some Facebook groups you join and, maybe it's like, thousands or like even like really big groups and you think it's so impersonal. And I think that's what I really like about this is that like, everyone's name in the group. Like someone pops up and I go, oh yeah, I know who they are. And I know a little bit about them because they've introduced themselves. And it's just a really safe space. Like people can just say, come in, introduce themselves. And there just feels like there's no judgment. And I think that's what I find really helpful about it. Like a Facebook group, you don't know who's you're letting in. Like, Shantae and Kenya are very like thoughtful about who they're letting into this group. Like anyone can join, but like Facebook just seems very impersonal and you don't really know who's in your group with you and you're just kind of chatting to whoever. Whereas this, I feel like, kind of talking to your friends in a sense, like, because it's people that know you and have seen what you've been going through.
Yeah, I echo all of that. I feel like, paying to subscribe to a community, an online community, is not something that many people think about doing, but I feel like it is an investment because everybody is really invested in getting the most out of their community, out of this community. So instead of, I think somebody was mentioning earlier, people just like haphazardly joining groups and then people haphazardly just letting them on, because we want to have this freedom to be inclusive. But I feel like on Facebook, nobody is really actually invested. And you also don't, like Stacey was saying, get to really know people on a more personal level. I feel like I'll get on other groups and it's just, like you said, a lot of noise, and it just doesn't feel like there's as much investment and as much as engagement in like real meaningful quality engagement with other people. Whereas with this group, you're investing in like truly getting to know other people and having these like sort of co-learning relationships.
Yeah. And I was going to, 2 things when Toby was talking about the products, that's actually one of the reasons, like my thought was, I can give someone a product, but I don't get to go with them, right? I don't get to go with it. Like, I'm not mailing myself with it and sitting there saying, okay, open the Best Today guide, or come on, use that morning and evening routine pad, or come on, log into Right Now routine. I'm not there. So how can I, in effect, be there? And that's like our 3 process: community, content, and products. We give you these physical products that allow you to do and apply the principles that we teach. And then we surround you with that content every week. You have a new podcast episode about something that matters to you, or you pocket it and say, okay, I might not need this today, but I know at some point I'm going to need it, or a friend is going to need it. So I'm aware that it's there. And then the community is there to be that. That is my way of mailing myself with these products and saying, I'm right here with you. And I'm sure we have a few people in the community who may not even use our products, but it's the community that's the resource that's for them. And that's how they stay tapped in, along with the podcast, to these principles and living them out, because it's not a requirement to be in the community to use the Best Today Guide or any of our products. It's just, they work so well together and that was my intention. My intention was literally to picture you and like a circle circling you and like making sure you have everything you need, because that's how I can also ensure that you're going to use these products and do the principles, right? Because I'm not in the business of selling things just to make a sale. That's not the win for me. The win is I am creating products and resources that I want you to use and engage with. And the gift of that, the thing you're actually paying for, which is not the thing in your hand, but it's the thing that happens in your heart and your mind and your life. That is what customers are actually purchasing from us. We're sending you a product that just might help you engage with it to get that end result, or giving you an online program that gets you that result. So I think that was a really important part. And then when you mentioned, Candace, I think you all asked, it's your community. So when someone says, hey, can we have this as our topics? We have different topics so that you can find different conversations that matter to you. Someone recommends a topic. Of course, we can create that. Someone says, hey, can we start learning who's coming in? Yes, we can do that. Let's have a check-in every midweek. Like, we're very intentional about hearing what you want and what you need. And even saying, as we grow, okay, what do we put in place now? We create the co-working hours because someone came in and posted and talked about how they need to start setting aside an hour to do that work they've been avoiding. And I said, well, what's a fun way to do that? Let's come together, bring that hour of thing that maybe you want to keep putting off, but maybe it's a little more fun if you do it in a room with your friends here from the community. And so now every Thursday, for the most part, we're together for that co-working hour. Anyone can come in. And I was telling Kenya this, I was like, it blows my mind. People just literally would come in, and some Thursdays it's silent for an hour and we say bye. But we love it because we're together digitally, right? Virtually. But it really still has that impact, and it feels different to work knowing you're right there on the screen, even though Stacy's sewing or someone else is doing something else and Leah's at her desk at work, and like, it's still really meaningful. And you're not going to get that one in a place that you go for free. You get what you pay for, right? You didn't pay anything, so you may not get much, but when you make an investment, you get what you pay for. What you're paying for is that having someone whose sole role is to make sure you're seen and heard and taken care of, and that we're implementing the things that matter to you. So I think those things were really important. I wanted to ask Erin, who's been quiet. I know you said that you're kind of slowly coming back into the community. What was it that led you to even think about trying the community out? If you're still there, Erin.
Actually, so I saw you on Instagram. I follow you on Instagram. And one day I finally said, okay, let me try this. And I would get on, I downloaded some of the products, and honestly, I don't know what happened. I guess just life and lost focus. And then, you get to a point where, I'm trying to boil the ocean, right? I'm trying to get everything. It's like, okay, I just need to get everything, in order and on track. And then it just kind of, shut me down because I was overwhelmed. And so I'm off for a few days from work, just trying to regroup. And the kids are out of school right now, which is, so it kind of allows me to slow down. There's not a lot of activities. So it's time for me to start, taking little steps. And I got the notification. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot it was at 1. But I saw the notification about if you were on, hop back on. So I did. And that's why I'm here.
Well, I'm so glad you are. And that's it. Just one step. It's just one step. There is no, I'm waiting for this perfect time to get in here and get involved. Come in, ask the question, or just share where you are. I think a lot of times what that does when you share where you are is it puts us on your radar, right? We know hey, has anyone checked in on Erin yet? We know she came in and said she'd been silent for a while. When people come in and check in, it lets us come in and check in on you. We know where you are. We know what you might need. You can come in and say, y'all make sure you hear from me over the next week, because I'm trying to like really be intentional about coming in and being involved in the community and asking for what you need. So I'm glad that you saw the button and decided to get on and come and be in conversation with us, because that's exactly what we're here for. We're here for when you're ready and when you need it. Anything else that anyone else wants to share before we close out, Toby?
Yeah, one of my favorite things about this community that I think really separates it from others is that here the teacher is also the student and the students are also the teachers. I do not feel like there's any like one person teaching everybody else and then everybody else trying to scramble and crowdsource. It's really such a collaborative process, and there's no one who's like better than the other one or more woke than the other one or more advanced than the other one. It's everyone's really learning together about themselves, and no one's life is further along than the other. And so to me, that's so powerful.
I love that. Yes. I sit as a student learning from you all. And even when I'm like reading the conversations, and a lot of times I purposely don't want to be the first one to respond, particularly if they didn't tag me and say, Shantae, what, blah, 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 and insert question, because I love watching you all come in and share your experience and your insights. And then I will come in and usually echo something that someone else has said and maybe add in, a couple more cents. But what I love about that is everyone sees that all of our experiences are valuable. All of us here are valuable. All of us here bring something to the table. This isn't Shantae's community. This is the Best Today community, and it's made up of every single individual who is here. And it's what it is because of every single individual who's here. And I think is a special place where you can create an environment where people feel that. So I'm really grateful to hear that is felt, because I think it's really important. Thank you for making that point, Toby. Anyone have anything else to say? So what would you say to the person who's listening and they're like, I'm not going to get in this community. I keep hearing about it. What would you say to them to help them make that decision to join us over here in the Best Today community? Or if they're trying to decide, am I a good fit? What would you say? I'd love to hear that from anyone who wants to share.
So I was actually was looking at my We Community sticker. And one of the things that it says about the community is encouragement. And actually just reminded me that, the community is such an encouraging space, and everyone, like, encouragement is always there when you need it. And I think just anyone that's feeling like they need a little bit of extra support, or they need a little bit of extra, like, push to, like, whatever the word is I'm looking for, like just a bit of extra support. I think the community is a great space just to reach out, and like Erin was saying, just to take that first small step. I think, Shantae offers a free month if you buy the Best Today guide, and there are ways to just try it out. So I think if you're on the fence, just give it a go, and just know that the community is what you make of it. So if you're coming into the community with a bit of a judgmental attitude, I don't think this is really worth it, then you're probably not going to get much out of it, because that you've had this preconceived idea of what it is about. But I think if you're really out there looking for community and looking for a little bit of encouragement and support, then yeah, why not give it a go? Because I think it's such a great safe space for people.
I would just say, and just to echo Stacy, if you hear this and you're like, this is what I want, I'm just not sure, like, is it worth the money? Sign up for 3 months. Just don't do the yearly. Just sign up for 3 months. You can always do the yearly if you love it. And if you don't like it, jump ship, no biggie. But the possible gain is worth every penny, because it's such a powerful place to be.
I would also piggyback on that, saying if you're going to commit to the month, 3 months, whatever it is, commit, like actually participate, meet the other people in the community, because we all help each other out. We all, encourage each other. I've been kind of quiet lately just because my nose has been to the grind lately. And sure enough, I think last week, Kenya's like, haven't heard from you. Are you okay? Is there life over there? And, and just checking in, making sure that we're all just like good. And I mean, if it's as simple as that, just to communicate, that's amazing. But we also hold each other accountable and, are there for each other when, there's a rough patch, or even if it's not, even to celebrate. Like when we did, I think it was Clean One Room, I can't remember whose space it was, but it was just like, they posted it and like, it was for a whole month, like she did her thing and we were all there to be like, that's amazing. And then, but it also on the flip side of that encourages us going, I'm looking at my dining room table right at the moment going, I need to clean one room in this room because it's atrocious. But it just keeps everybody just like on it and making sure they're living their best lives and helping each other out to live their best life.
I love that. And yes, it was Stacy. She had like 1 month where she committed to like doing the space and shared the pictures. And it was so fun because it was like watching an HGT movie in slow motion, because it's like every week you come back and you see the progression made and then how she's been able to keep that and then the effect that it's had on her. So it was really fun. Like there's nothing off topics. Like the things that matter to you matter to us. And so come, and it's a free space, safe space to share all those things. All right. Well, if no one else has anything else, I'm going to let you all get back to your day. Thank you so much for chatting with us about community for this episode of the Best Today podcast. I think it's going to be really helpful. And just so people can also find your community, because maybe the Best Today community isn't your community, but wherever it is, I want you to find your community because it's really important. I said this at the top of the episode. This article I read said how finding your community is just as important to your physical health as exercise or quitting smoking. And I think that's really powerful. And of course, what we do for our physical, mental, emotional health is something that's really important to us at Best Today. So that's one of the reasons why we have this community. So thank all of you for being a part of yet another episode. I really appreciate it. It's going to help a lot of people. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
I just love the women in the Best Today community so much. I'm so grateful for the community. I am so grateful for the safe space that has been created, the work that we do as a team, as a company to ensure that everything in there is smooth and feels safe and healthy and loving for the women in the Best Today community, and really for how, like it was mentioned, we are attuned. I just recently said to someone else, we have a healthy obsession with our community, with our customers. We are always attuned into what you need and what it is that will be most helpful to you. And so being able to listen to the things that they mention and really bring that back to the table to them, whether it's a workshop topic, whether it's, hey, can we add this extra topic in the community? Can we start doing introductions on Fridays? And can you do updates in the middle of the week? Whatever it is, we are listening. And so I hope that listening to this episode has made you think more about the communities in your world and your life. And maybe you've thought about coming and joining us over in the Best Today community, which I highly hope you have. Let us know by first coming to besttodaycommunity.com and joining us. And also send us a text at 404-737-1002. Let me know that you're coming into the community. Or if you have any questions, you can always text us 404-737-1002 or email us anytime at besttoday@shantaegrant.com. Thank you so much for being present with me for today's episode of the Best Today podcast. Until next time, remember that you are capable and worthy of being your best one today at a time. And you already have everything you need to have everything you want. So go on and shout it out as you live it out. This is what my best today looks like. I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today Guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today Guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today Guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.